What's going on? It's Tuesday. Continuing a question from last week, I actually have a couple more things that I collect. Like Emily, I also collect programs and tickets from shows and sport events that I go to. This whole basket's all Beanie Babies. This many: Betty and Veronica, Archie, Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats. I have like 30 plus, and I have some double digests, which are like the extra large ones. So yeah, those are my other collections. I went home this weekend, like you saw in Veronica's vlog, and I saw my family, and my brother came home, so that was cool, and I got to play Arkham with Jedi and Veronica, so I had a pretty good weekend. I also went to New York this weekend as a trip with some people from my school, and we went to the Met and saw a lot of art. There's this one painting, and it wasn't a square, it was kind of a rhombus. It was a blue canvas, and it was called Blue Canvas. It was probably like my favorite piece that I saw the whole day. And because I was in New York, I met up with Rob Fearson, our good friend, Master Chenarnier, and I also saw our friend Johnny Weisgerber and Sean and Natalie, and I got to talk to them for a little bit, so I had a fun time. And then we went to an opera, and the opera was a little, 4-hour bus ride up, 4-hour bus ride back in one day. That's always cool. And then I went home and I visited with my family and my friends. I had to think of a memory with one of the Progers, and I want to share a memory I have with Emily. And I know that you probably already heard this story before, but I love this day, and this day really goes down in history, so I'm just going to share it again on video for the first time. Shoot. The acting company at Blake participated in a program called Text Alive at the Shakespeare Theater, where we performed a scene from Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus, and a bunch of other schools performed scenes, and they performed them back to back. I believe it was the dress rehearsal. We went up there, and a senior was supposed to take us back to school, and she bailed on us, but we really needed to get back to school because right after school we had to take our AP World final exam. We had no way of getting back to school, so our friend Jessica called her dad, and her dad picked us up from the metro, and Emily and I rode the metro back from DC back to the Silver Spring metro station, and we were studying so much. Like, we had our textbooks with us, and we were like, feudalism, the differences between European feudalism and Japanese feudalism, and trying to study for AP World. And then we get off the subway, and we're looking for Jessica's dad, and we're not really sure what he looks like or what car he's driving. And finally this guy pulls up, and he's like, hey, are you Lena and Emily? And we're like, yeah. And he was very, very nice, and he drove us back to school, and we got there with like 5 minutes to spare, and we hadn't had any time to eat lunch, so I think our friend had like some crackers, and we had some crackers, and we didn't have like number 2 pencils or anything, but this one guy brought like 20 pencils with him, so we got that, and we sat down at a table with our friend, and we took our AP Modern World final exam, and then we had like a little break, and then we got in costume and ready for a performance of the Scottish play, and I had to get airbrush painted because it was my night to go on, because Emily and I actually were double cast and playing the same part. And then we did a show. That was just such a good day and such a bonding experience. I felt very triumphant. By the way, the wacky thingies were called pastels. You said if you could be any Disney princess instead of like, which Disney princess are you most like? And if I could be any Disney princess, I'd be Belle. I adore Belle. She's my favorite. And I think the best quality about her is how she's completely unshallow, and she judges people based on their personality. And I really respect that. And the Broadway show, she has some really good solos. So I'd be Belle. Sorry, Veronica, I know you'd be Belle too, but you said you could, so we're the same one. And if I could have any Disney prince, I'd have Aladdin. I'd have Aladdin right now if I could. He is so smexy. And Emily and I share this, but anytime we're listening to our iPod on shuffle and the reprise comes on, our hearts just like melt away.
They'd find out
couple things. I'm taking a drama literature class, and actually by tomorrow I have to read Midsummer Night's Dream. We had to read this show called the Qingding Pearl. It's a Japanese play, and it was really, really, really funny. They have some really great insults in that play, and I just want to tell you how some Japanese people drop insults. A couple of my favorites are, "You are the stink bug in a ball of dung. You 8 days spawn of a turtle. You antiquated rat licking a cat's whiskers right over its nose and waiting for death. I'll riddle your carcass with 8 holes until it smokes." And this was the worst maledictions that could blight a Chinese ear, according to the footnote. "May he die without a clod of earth to cover his wretched carcass." My favorite line in the whole show is, "Are you really so anxious to fight me, baby?" Dear Veronica, the gnome shouldn't make any sense. This is my question. I thought it was kind of interesting. I want you to think of what your favorite song is, like what you consider your favorite song of all time. Like really think about it. And then, once you figure this out, and not a moment before, then I want you to go onto iTunes and check to see what your most played song is. It's a curious little game. My favorite song, I have 2, and these songs are very special to me. The first one is In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. My other favorite song is Stuck in a Moment acoustic version by U2. And the #1 played song on my iTunes right now, the most played song is First Day of My Life by Bright Eyes. The Moment acoustic version is my 4th most played song. I love you, girls. Bye.
That's what I go to school for.
Hey Emily, you're awesome.